What do you make of Robert Mueller not exonerating the president on obstruction of justice?
Well, he didn't give us a conclusion either way, right? So he didn't exonerate him, but he also didn't say there's enough evidence to bring charges. A lot of us thought this was a possibility, right? We thought that perhaps Bob Mueller would view this as an information collecting exercise, and he would pull everything together and submit the report at the end. And he did that with respect to obstruction. The problem is, it leaves a lot of us just dissatisfied because he was the person that was supposed to be the non-political, professional, non-conflicted individual who could look at everything and give us an unbiased view, and instead he effectively punted.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General was very quick to say the president did not obstruct justice. What do you make of that?
Well, I think my guess is Bill Barr and his deputy Rod Rosenstein, it's probably the last thing they wanted to do were to be the final deciders on the Department of Justice side. But that being said, it was handed to them without a decision or a recommendation made. And in my view, they probably said, what choice do we have? I mean, this was a criminal investigation being run effectively by the Justice Department through the special counsel. And the public needed to know, was there a criminal case here? Bob Mueller didn't answer that question. So obviously the Attorney General stepped in and said, I have to.
Now, there are many calls for the Mueller report to be made public. Do you think that's going to happen, given various legal hurdles?
It will happen, but it's not going to happen overnight. So the calls that this should be just immediately handed over to the public, completely unrealistic, completely implausible. There should be every effort for maximum transparency, but we have to do this right. So in my view, I expect we will see a probably redacted version of the report in the near future, with possibly a full version going to Congress for closed-door views only, and then it'll be a matter of time before the Justice Department can properly go through the report and figure out what can and cannot be released to the public.
Now, we are told that the investigation did not establish that members of the Trump campaign conspired with Russia. How high a bar is it to establish a legal conspiracy?
I mean, beyond reasonable doubt, right? I mean, there needs to be efforts by more than one individual to engage in a criminal conspiracy. So in this case, it would have been conspiracy to obstruct justice, conspiracy to prevent the lawful election in 2016, something that had to do with either the hacking or the release of misinformation or some kind of mischief having to do with the election that was not just knowing but actively complicit by members of the Trump campaign. And that's what Bob Mueller said he didn't find.
Now, separate from the Mueller report, but related to it because this came up during Mueller's investigation, how much of a legal difficulty is it for the president, the fact that one of his associates is going to jail because of these hush money payments to women who claim they had an affair with the president?
Well, so the campaign finance violation portion of this will be now handled in New York by federal prosecutors up there. So it sprung from the Mueller report as a result of, evidence that was found along the way. But for a while now, this has been effectively spun off to the Southern District of New York, which is a separate component within the Justice Department. Very aggressive, very independent, very capable prosecutors.
Very interesting. Joseph Moreno, thanks so much for joining us with that analysis.
Good to be here.